going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Coffee and Van Chats. My name is John Kroom. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave us a review. But we're sitting here with Cycling Tom out of New Zealand. Well, he's in the States right now. But yeah, I ran into him at a crit and I was like, dude, I know that guy from somewhere. And I think I saw you at Easton. And I was like, man, Somerville. And then I looked at but no, I saw you at Easton. I recognized you at Easton. And then I looked at the results and started putting two and two together, and then I ran into you at Somerville, and I just had to call you out on it. But yeah, man, what are you doing on this side of the world, man?
So like pretty much 2 years ago, I was meant to ride for New England Devo out of Boston. So I'm in Boston at the moment. I was meant to ride for New England Devo under 23, and then COVID hit in New Zealand literally like 3 days before I was meant to fly out. So obviously that all got cancelled. They shut down every airport. So like I've still never got the credit back for my flights. So yeah, I was just like, it's on the bucket list to come here. Obviously that team shut down. So, and then I also in the last year signed with Cycling Hub. It's like a talent agency for cycling influencers and YouTubers and stuff like that. And talking with Tim, and we're like, I want to try and make this work. I want to try and be the cycling influencer and YouTuber and stuff. So we're like, let's do like a Cycling Tom world tour. So this was like first on the list. Come to the US, do some crits. And then from there, he's got me going to Spain after Dairylands. And then I go to Belgium and then to the UK and then Scotland. And then I'm home in August. So
Jesus Christ. Wait, so you're doing that between now and August?
Yeah. Okay. So there's 4 more countries to go between now and August.
All right, well, let's backpedal a little bit for people that don't know who you are. You are a cycling YouTuber, but where does this all get started? Like, where does Tom find himself into cycling, and then I guess find himself into YouTube? Yeah, there's got to be a story behind all this.
Yeah, so in New Zealand, I did triathlon for a few years in Wellington, which was like the capital city of New Zealand. I grew up there. It's very close to the ocean, so I did a lot of swimming when I grew up. And then my granddad got me onto a bike and then did running. I was like, oh, we'll do triathlon. Did that for a while and had some pretty good results and stuff. Did national circuit and stuff. But that's when I was very young. And then my whole family moved to the Wairarapa, which is more of like a country town rather than a city. So we moved into the country, no swimming or anything. So I kind of packed in triathlon for a while, and then they've got a really, really strong cycling club there. I literally just turned up one day to the cycling club. And it's funny, the first race I did for the cycling club in Masterton was Admiral Hill, which is the Queen stage of the UCI race in New Zealand.
The Tour of Southland, right?
Nah, so the Tour of Southland isn't the UCI one. So we got two big tours, Tour of Southland and the UCI one, which is the New Zealand Cycle Classic, which is actually in my new hometown.
Okay, I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, so the first race I did, I was like 14 on like a alloy bike and rode up a 10-kilometer long climb. So that kind of got me into cycling. And I've got a photo somewhere of me going up that climb. It's hilarious. Just this tiny little kid. I think I weighed like 50 kgs, had like baggy shirt and everything climbing up this massive hill.
Yeah.
But yeah, that really kicked it off for me. I was like, these people are awesome. The cycling community is awesome. And just jumped on all the group rides and got better and better and better and went to all the schools races, and that kind of got me into it.
Yeah. And so why did you take the route, I guess, of the, because I think I actually started watching some of your videos like when you had like 3,000 subscribers. Like I watched, because I was the kind of guy who I was always interested in media, and I was always interested in marketing and seeing what influencers did and what some of the smaller level YouTube channels did. And it was always interesting to me how like even the vegan cyclist, I mean, it's just like straight GoPro. Like, you got Mark Stewart, you're familiar with Mark Stewart. Yeah. Mark Stewart's over there, he's trying to do it, and it's like GoPros, it's like just getting content out that somewhat tells the story, but it's not the greatest quality. And I think I kind of saw that from you early on. And so yeah, I guess my question to you is like, how did you even decide, okay, cool, this is what I'm going to do? And, because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to take the Belgian Kermesse racing route. I'm going to try to get on a pro team. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And so like, how'd you find yourself kind of schlepping it and doing it on your own, kind of creating your own brand out of it?
Yeah. So, well, initially, like I was doing under 15 race. I think it was, under 17 racing. It was like CH Beach. The video is still on my channel. My
Yeah.
mate from school lent me his GoPro Hero 2 or 3. I chucked it on my bike, and it's the worst video ever. It's just like GoPro video, and it's like mud because it's New Zealand winter, and it had like cow shit on it. And then it's just me and my mates riding around CHB Junior Tour. I chucked that. We drove home, and I was in the hotel that night, edited it up real quick because I'm always like, I want to get these things up. I'm still the same now, even then when I was like 15. I was like, I want to get these things up ASAP because I want them to still be relevant. Did this video, and then I woke up in the morning and it had like 150 views. I was like, yeah, that's sick.
Yeah.
And I was like, and that was just like a shitty video I did. But yeah, I spent a lot of my, I'm not very good at school. And I spent a lot of my time at school watching like Casey Neistat and Logan Paul. I was like, it just blew my mind that you could make money filming yourself. And I was like, well, what interesting in my life that I can share? How can I make an audience? And obviously, if you're going to start, you have to start when you make an audience with the people who are going to support you the most. And that for me was my cycling club, my cycling friends and my family. And they're going to want to watch videos of me doing what I love. So you can't really fake it. So that's how Cycling Tom invented. And then at that time, Cycling Maven was a thing.
Yeah.
From Australia, and then Cycling Cam, Cam Jeffers now. So I just, Cycling Tom, and I'm the only
Yeah.
one that's kept it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think everybody's like kind of like, I think even, have you ever met Tyler Pierce, the vegan cyclist?
No, I literally sent him a DM the other day, and he's pretty keen to do a video with me at the end of this trip. So I might be extending another week.
Yeah, no, he's a great dude, but I do think he's trying to get away from the vegan cyclist name. Like he just wants to be known as Tyler Pierce. And I can understand that. It's like where everywhere you go, you're just like the vegan cyclist, the vegan cyclist, the vegan cyclist. But yeah, no, it's kind of interesting. And so like, has anybody else pulled you aside and been like, dude, I watch your YouTube videos, or am I the only one?
I went to nationals before this, our non-elite nationals, and I had quite a few people in New Zealand come up to me. I had like 2 guys take selfies with me, and then a few come up to me. I've had more people in the US at these crits come up to me than ever in my entire life. Every day I go out, I get, at these crits, at least 10 people will come up to me, and I'll be taking, at least 5 to 10 selfies as well.
What's that feel like? Is that just like not kind of weird?
That's very weird. Like,
yeah,
I'm not that big, but I make a lot of content. So I feel like I haven't got a lot, I'm not the biggest YouTuber in the world, but I make a lot of videos throughout the year. And that means that my people, like these people that watch me, come back all the time. So I'm in their lives like once a week.
Yeah. And so so what's your schedule like? Because here's the thing, man. Like I tried to do exactly what you're doing right now. And you've probably heard this several times. Like a lot of people want to do what you're doing. Like it's the dream, right? In theory, right? On the outside looking in, you create a video, you edit it, you post it online, you potentially get ad kickback from it and a little bit of money, but it's not as easy as it sounds. And so like, I kind of want to get this out. When we've had Tyler Pierce on here talk about it. We've had Phil Guyman on here. We've chatted about it as well. But I think coming from you being kind of smaller and newer to the space because you're more recent than Tyler Pierce is one of the first cycling influencers.
Yeah, for sure. He's a founding father.
Founding father. Yeah. He's the only one who hasn't been canceled. And so, yeah, like, I guess let's dive into a bit of the meat of the process of like, what is your day to day and how do you plan a video? How do you go about deciding, okay, this is what I'm going to do a video on. This is my editing schedule. Like, what does that look like for you? Are you working 80-hour weeks? Are you working a 2-hour week? Like, what's it look like?
Yeah. So in New Zealand, so I'll talk about New Zealand because here's a bit different. I'm a lot chiller. I don't really have a lot to do at the moment because I'm just racing.
Yeah.
But in New Zealand, I own a bike shop. So I've got 4 employees that I have to look after, and I got a bike shop there that I run. And then my house is very close to my bike shop, so I kind of will come back and forth. But in my house, I have a big whiteboard of just ideas. I just scribble ideas down all the time. Like you just got to work out what's working. Like I'll just go on and be like, Phil Guyman, what's his best video this month? What do people want to see? And then I'll just scribble down these ideas, and I've got an entire whiteboard full of ideas. And they'll just kind of, wake up one day, like, oh, I could actually do that this weekend. That's how I kind of schedule it. And I also have a guy who lives in Wellington that for all my big videos, you'll see that some guy comes and films and the quality just goes through the roof. And I pay
Yeah.
him to come and do that. And at the moment, I'm paying him more than that video is making online because I want this so bad. Like
Yeah.
I am, so my bike shop at the moment, which is leveraged off my channel, is actually paying for all of this to even happen. So yeah, it looks cool from the outside. Like, oh shit, he's got 18,000 subs, but I am putting a lot of my own money into this.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. And that's kind of the things that I want to get out there. And so what does it look like for you now? I guess, are you still posting a video a week? Please forgive me, but
Yeah.
I'm not like on, I know it sounds like I'm on YouTube all the time, and Sam was giving me some shit about being so glued into the internet. But yeah, I haven't been checking, but like, so what's your post schedule? Is it once a week, or do you
Well,
post when you have relevant content?
yeah. So at the moment, what I have worked out since I come here, because I'm living in like this 3-story frat house thing, like
Okay.
with some of my mate. My mate goes to Northeastern Uni. He's a D1 runner for the
Okay.
800 meter. So I'm just staying in one of their flats because that was like cheap accommodation for me in Boston. Um, but like when I'm in New Zealand, I've got my whole shit. I've got all my custom bikes. I've worked out since I got here. It's like I just have content coming out my ears in New Zealand. Whereas here, it's like, what the hell do I film? Like if I'm not with the Butcher Box boys, like I've made a video today and I've just grinded through it. It's like this is hard without the foundations that I set up at home means that I can pump out a video every second day with something relevant. Like there's a guy I watch on YouTube from I think he's from Utah. He's called the Stradman, and he's
Okay.
like a car guy, and he's got like Lamborghinis and cars, and he's constantly upgrading them and stuff. And I sat there one day when I first, because I took 8 months off when I went fencing and stuff before I bought my shop, and I went and played rugby, and I had like a year off to do my head. And then when I came back, I was like, how am I going to make this work? How can I pump out content? And this guy, because he has so many cars, there's always something going on. Like I think I own like 10 bikes now. There's
Jesus
always
Christ.
something, there's always something broken on one of them. There's always something being upgraded on one of them. And it kind of just like, there's always something to film at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I've got bikes to review, like it was funny. I talked to the people about this the other day. It's like, if I checked my emails, I could get a free set of carbon wheels once a week if I wanted to review them.
Yeah.
But it's just like, do I want to do that? Well, I've got a very good relationship with Windspace now, so it's like I don't want to kind of tarnish that.
Yeah. Oh, was that Gregory or not George, right? Over at
Which one?
Windspace? George?
I work with. There's there's actually a Windspace guy in New Zealand now that
Oh,
I've
okay,
been
okay,
dealing a
okay.
lot with.
So I'm
But
talking
yeah,
about the American who does like
oh
Lactigo
yeah,
and all that stuff.
I
You
met
probably
him.
met him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I met him.
That dude's a great dude. But yeah,
Yeah.
so like I guess so your channel more caters towards like bike review, like
Mm,
you do race recaps. I really liked your Cycling New Zealand race recap, and that because that's how we
yeah,
watch it in the States pretty much. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, they do like a live stream, but actually you talking to the riders, like,
yeah,
like I know Mudgeway and those guys from the track. And so like to see them racing road is kind of cool.
yeah.
But so like, do you think it's just harder because it kind of changes your style? Because if you're here, I guess like the way I'm looking at it is, why don't you just do a lifestyle vlog of like, all right, Tom waking up in the morning, going out for a training
Mm,
ride, Tom in the
yeah. Well,
US kind of thing.
that's what I've done today, and it was good. I've done a few with the Butcher Box boys, and they've got that Mexican guy Eduardo on the
Yeah.
team. Best for content. I wish that I could have that guy with me every day. He is so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've done a few, and I did a good one today. I went around the Wells Ave Crit course and did some sprints. I had my GoPro in my mouth like this,
Oh
doing
man.
my
Yes.
sprints, and my teeth are real sore now, eh?
Yeah, what you will do for the Instagram and the
Mm,
content is pretty crazy. And so
yeah,
anyways, and so that all being said, so like when did you start to see that transfer? Because I think that's another thing too, is like, and I'm kind of bringing you on because I think you're one of those new influencers into the space that like everybody wants to be a content creator, but they don't know what it takes. And it's like that classic
yeah,
Ronnie Coleman thing, is like everybody want to be a bodybuilder, but nobody want to lift that heavy ass weight. Like it's
yeah,
the same kind of process. It's like everybody wants 1 million subscribers, but you don't even have 1 million subscribers. You would
no,
probably kill for 100,000 subscribers right now. And
yeah,
so when did you see that crossover of like, okay, I have 30 subscribers, and all of a sudden like you have 1,000, like, and
yeah.
that's such a good feeling.
So like the thing with me, I started when I was still at school. So I was the kid that was uploading videos at school at 17, like the peak time when you should not be uploading to the internet because you're embarrassing yourself.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm running around with a camera like this, filming myself for like 150 people.
yeah.
And and then yeah, cycling. I saw one day that Cycling Maven was coming to do like it's like a big fun ride in New Zealand called Lake Taupo. It's 160k, so it's 100 miles, and it's a huge event. Like it's 5,000, 6,000 people come to it. And he was being paid to film it when he had about 60, 70,000 subs.
Yeah.
And I literally like 17-year-old, 16-year-old me. I got a last minute entry, got a random guy to take me up there, and just found him and just started filming him. Both of those videos did like 7,000 views. Hit my first 1,000 subscribers like 2 days later.
Wow. Yeah, and so that's what it did. It was like trying your hardest to get in front of these influencers, and honestly, almost embarrassing yourself. Like, I mean, if you think about it, right? Like, well, it was one of two things, right? Like, you're gonna go up to this guy and he's gonna be like, "What the fuck is this guy doing? Like, is he actually trying to film me right now and trying to get subscribers out of this?" Or like, because I've even seen that with Tyler Pierce, right? And like we've chatted about it before. It's like, yeah, guys try to. I actually tried to pull that move too, staying. Dylan Johnson.
No, I'm not sure.
Oh, so Dylan Johnson, God, he's the guy that he does the science videos. He's got like 90,000.
Oh,
yeah.
I have seen him.
Yeah.
So the Aero guy.
Exactly. Well, now he's become the Aero guy. But I camped out in front of his house. So I did a whole vlog. Like we knew each other. It wasn't like I was just like creeping and camping, but I did a whole vlog of me camping in front of his house, and we did a ride and the whole shebang. And it's like, for whatever reason, I got all the people that don't like Dylan Johnson to watch that video, and they're just like, and it tanked. But it has like almost 15,000 views, but it just like, I don't know. I just got the wrong crowd from Dylan Johnson. So, but yeah, no, it's a fun part about it. So I guess, going forward, like what kind of content are we going to see from you? I mean, especially being that you're going to 4 different countries. I mean, I'm assuming we're gonna be seeing Cycling Tom with a guy filming you, probably. Like you're probably gonna start walking around with a guy filming you because you're gonna become the talent.
That's the thing. I feel like Tyler has talked about this a lot. Like I've had people comment on my videos because I haven't finished a crit since I got here.
Wait, no, you finished Easton?
Nah, I didn't.
No, not Easton. I didn't.
I almost finished Somerville.
What about Plainfield?
No, I don't think I finished
the flat one. It was the day after Easton.
No, I didn't finish that one. I made it like 55 minutes into the 60 minutes. I got called off.
Oh, okay. Shit.
Yeah. And then, but yeah, like filming yourself at a race at this level is so stressful, and people don't understand that.
So like, hard. It's the hardest thing in the world.
Like when you wake up in the morning, like I'm like we're saying at Sam Rosenholt, right?
Yeah.
I'm in the room with him the day I'm making these videos. He's sitting there with his bloody massage gun like this, doing absolutely nothing before I'm running outside, filming myself, cleaning my bike because I'm trying to get content, right?
Yeah.
And then you get to the race and you're not as prepared as you should be to get to this race. And then you go out and ride with these guys that are basically just world tour crit riders. That's all they do. And you're like, holy shit, this is really hard. But I'm like, the only reason I'm riding in that race is to get content because no one really wants to watch Cat 3. I'm like, I'm fit, but I'm not that fit. The only reason I ride a bike is because I like making videos.
That's sick. Well, that was the answer. That was the thing I was looking for because I'm like, why didn't you just like, dude? New Zealand has a very, very dominant, and maybe this is why you didn't do it, but they have a very dominant cycling culture, and like some of the best guys I know from in the cycling space, luckily because I ride the track, it's like they're all from New Zealand, man. And so like the national team, but like they do pretty well for themselves over there. Like, like if you crack into that, like you're doing pretty well for yourself.
Sure. Yeah, no, there's some, like, as you were saying, like George won Tour of Somerville, like he's coming up. He's a good rider.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of passionate guys in New Zealand. And there's like the guy, James Kenny, who runs that Mighty Q team. Like he's in New Zealand. He does so much work because like people in New Zealand, because it's so small, it's so much harder to get sponsors. Like my team, Copeland's Booth Crew, is pretty much run entirely off this channel. People who also don't understand that is that people be like, oh, you're shit, like, like I'm the worst rider on the team, which is true. I am definitely the worst rider on the team. We've got some amazing riders on our team, but those
Yeah.
guys wouldn't have the opportunity to go to the places and go to the races without me and this thing.
Yeah. And so you're
It's
saying
huge.
like, and so what is it like with the trolls? Like, how do you handle that? I guess
I
more
don't
or
know.
less, because like,
I've been doing it since I was like 16. I just couldn't care less. I love it. The more comments, the better, because then it gets more views.
right on. And so, have you ever had a video that just like completely tanked, and you're like fully committed? I'm not taking it down. Like,
Yeah. When I was like 17, it wasn't pretty stupid, but I had like an Advantage SL bike that had just gone through a warranty claim, and they literally told me at the bike shop that I need to like cut it up and chuck it in the bin. I was like,
yeah,
yeah, cool video. And I put an X straight through the middle of it in slow motion. Holy shit. I lost like 400, 500 subs, so much hate. That's what they told me to do.
is that because you pretty much just started a bike hate channel? You became you became the guy who's just crushing bikes.
I don't know. It's like, yeah, I just like did it because I thought it was funny and it had to go in the bin anyway. I was like, I'll put an X through it. They'll love it. And they didn't love it.
Yeah, and so I guess now with this, and because like even like looking at your Instagram, it's like, they say that like having 100 subscribers on YouTube is like having 1,000 on Instagram, and
Yeah.
so it's in theory you have 180,000 subscribers, but that's not on your Instagram. And so
Mm,
my question to you is are you just so busy and so invested with? Because it sounds like we sound similar in the sense that like, yeah, we're trying to chase a dream in this sense, but we're also busy off doing other things. And so like a
yeah.
lot of these creators, they have the time and the bandwidth to go, okay, TikTok, Instagram, even
Yeah.
Facebook,
Yeah.
YouTube. Like, so are you trying to do any of like, because I know I was talking to Dylan Johnson actually about this, and like he had 80,000 subscribers on YouTube, and he had 5,000 on Instagram, and then finally
Yeah.
he just started plugging his Instagram, and eventually it just clicked.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and so
Well,
have you?
I've always struggled with Instagram, man. Like
Yeah,
I've got almost 19,000 subs and like less than 3,000 on Instagram. But
yeah,
I never post. Like I posted more since I got to the US.
yeah. And so have you ever?
I post a lot of stories. Like I post heaps of stories and like teasers and stuff on my
Yeah.
Instagram. But yeah, I'm
Have you
not
thought
much
about
of
doing
a
that on TikTok?
yeah, I have just started TikTok. I did a couple of this. I did one at two in Washington, and that I've just started. I got five followers.
Hell yeah, man. You are
Yeah,
about to take over the fucking world. No, I
yeah,
thought you would start a TikTok after you hanging out with Sam for a
yeah,
week. And
yeah,
that's what I think's funny. It's like you're filming this whole lifestyle thing and he's just responding to hateful political shit, which is
yeah,
insane. I don't know how he does
yeah.
it, man. It's wild to
I
me.
know. I couldn't
And
do that.
and so what's next for you? So you said you got all these 4 countries or whatever,
Mm,
but what kind of content are we seeing coming out of that? Are you like bike packing? Are you
yeah.
racing road races,
So,
crits? What's
so
going
the,
on?
yeah. So I came to the US because it was like, I was meant to do it 2 years ago. I really wanted to see my mate Max, who's the D1 running guy. I
Yeah,
hadn't
yeah.
seen him in like two years. So I was like, but this bit's been more of like a vacation. I'm just like, I'll go do some racing as well. That's cool content. People want to see that. I was meant to start my trip pretty much now and just do Dairylands, and that was meant to only be my American bit, but I've come way earlier. So yeah, we'll do Dairylands, and at Dairylands, I don't want to like I was talking about the pressure of making a video. I don't want the pressure during the race. So I'm going to be making I'm going to do race footage, but I'm also going to put GoPro on other people's bikes. I'm going to do a few GoPro reviews like the NorCal stuff with George Jackson. So I'm going to have
Yeah.
some on his bike. I'm going to do some with Sam. I'm going to put some GoPros on his bike, and then we're going to sit there and he's going to do some race tactics. I'm also going to do some bike reviews of like I'm going to try and get every single team. I think that
Yeah.
would be cool. Like if I could do Corey Williams' bike, and I want to do some of like the pro women's bikes, because I feel like the women don't really get represented a hell of a lot on the YouTube. It's always just men's riding.
Yeah, no, that's for
So
sure.
yeah, so I want to try and do some bike reviews because I love bike reviewing. That's like probably one of my biggest avenues is in New Zealand. I review a lot of bikes, and the videos do pretty well. So I want to do a bit of that while I'm there, just like have a look over these pro bikes. What do these guys have like specifically set up for crit racing, which is a lot. Like gear ratios and all that stuff. Have a look at that, and then from there, Spain. Hopefully, I've got a few. So I think I'll be trying to like link me up with some people. There's obviously a lot of the Instagram like girls and stuff in
Yeah.
Girona. Try and do that. I'm gonna link up with Mark Stewart, Corbin Strong. I was meant to be doing a video with Finn Fisher Black in Andorra, but he just broke his femur.
Oh, savage. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. He was leading the under 23 jersey at some World Tour race, his first one, and then he broke his femur the next day. He's pretty gutted.
Yeah, no, like, I mean, a femur is something hard to bounce back from too. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll go see him and try and cheer him up. And then from there, I'll go to Belgium. I'm hopefully going to get a video in with Mark Stewart because I really want to pump his channel. I was like,
yeah.
why did we not? I was like, why did we not do a video together in New Zealand?
He makes actually decent videos for being a first time YouTuber. I even shot him a message and I was like, these are actually pretty good. Like, there's a storyline, there's a good board. I mean, his recent Madison video is like his third video and it's actually well put together. And he's only releasing videos like twice a month kind of thing, but they're good videos. Like,
they're super good. He's got, I'm pretty sure he just films all of it with his GoPro and then sends the footage back to an editor.
Yeah.
From what I've heard. But yeah, no, he's doing super good. So I'm going to try and link up with him either in Spain or Belgium. And then Belgium, I'm meant to be staying with the Cycling Hub guys there. And then there's like a cask ride and they want to take me to do like ride the cobbles of Paris-Roubaix and then like monumental stuff like, you know, Cycling Tom, like Kiwi Boy takes on all of this. And then from there, I go to the UK and I've got some pretty cool videos ready for there. We're looking at hopefully Chris Pritchard. I've got a video with him. Cam Jeffers is obviously training pretty hard for the to do like the Tour of the UK. Or what's that big race?
Tour of Britain? Yeah,
Tour of Britain. So he's doing. So I'm going to try and link up with him. That would be awesome. I feel like me and Cam Jeffers, out of all of the cycling influencers, we're very similar, like people.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that his audience will hopefully jump over to me because I feel like we're very similar people. So if they like him, I feel like they would like me. We do a lot of the same type of stuff. He's just more of a writer than a content creator, whereas I'm. But
he slowly changed that way. Like I think, like his early stages on Saint Pran or whatever, he was 100% a heavy influencer, and then as he moved to Ribble, like, and honestly, after he got in trouble with that whole Zwift shit, it seemed like he actually moved more into the bike racer.
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely gone down that avenue and he's doing really well. He's obviously has got some pretty decent sponsors behind him because he's seems to barely upload and still seems to be living pretty well. So
well, that's kind of what Tyler was saying. It's like he's he's at a point now where he can upload a video. You know, now when he uploads videos, he makes sure that he loves the content. He puts the effort into it. He puts the time into it, and it's good content. So. Yeah,
that's awesome. And then, so hopefully there's some videos there. I've also, like a little sneak peek for your listeners, I've got some like cycling specific, like custom jewelry being made. That is like, it's cost me quite a bit of money. And I picked that up when I get to the UK. It's going to be baller. It's going to be so baller.
Sweet. No, that'd be sick, man. And I think, but like, I think for sure, like you got some cool things down the pipeline. And like I said, and that's why I had to stop you because I was like, dude, I think like, especially creators in the space, I think it's really cool when it's so hard to like do this sport. It's so hard to finance these things and it's so hard to do these things. And when you create your own opportunities, like that to me is exciting. That to me is cool. And it's like, I just want to get more people, especially because I have a heavy American base that will be at Toad and those kinds of things. They can come say, hey, go check out the videos and stuff like that. But anyways, before I let you go, man, I got to ask you one more question. We ask everybody this question on this podcast. I never prep anyone with it unless you listen to the podcast. If you could have one cup of coffee with one individual, dead or alive, who would that individual be? And then how would you take your coffee? If you don't drink coffee, you can choose beer, alcohol, soda, whatever. But that's dead or alive, anyone.
Yeah, one person, just probably, Logan Paul for me, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've taken so much inspiration from what he's done. Obviously, he's done some pretty fucked up stuff, but just his head and the way that he thinks, I try to, like, he just thinks differently to everyone else. And I try to do that and try to use that in my own business and trying to make this YouTube stuff work is pretty like mind numbing sometimes. So it's like, he's made it work. Like there's no different between him and me. Like, I just need to keep pushing. So I feel like he'd be such a cool person. Now he's like switch from like influencer. He's made his money and now he's just gone business. And that's so cool. And that's what I think I'll hopefully eventually do. And then yeah, I don't drink coffee very often, so I'll probably just have a beer. My local in New Zealand, we have like beers for our regions and our rugby team, so I'd have a tui.
Oh, Tui. So I need
Yeah,
to get
tui.
I need to get you guys to bring me that over then, because I got to try
Yeah,
it then.
it's not good, but yeah,
Well, I'll just try it maybe the next time I go over there. Well,
yeah,
Tom,
for
dude,
sure.
thanks for hopping on. Guys, if you haven't already, please make sure you go check out Tom's YouTube. I'll put a link down in the description below. He'll also be at what? It's just Toad is your last race. Are you going to do
Yeah, Toad.
Intelligentsia? Are
Nah, not
you
intelligentsia.
okay? Cool. So be sure you go see him. He's usually hanging out with the Butcher Box guys. And if you aren't watching this on YouTube, he's wearing this amazing hat,
Yeah,
which you can probably find them wearing it. They, I think that's been traveling with the Butcher Box crew. So,
yeah.
anyways, guys, thanks so much for listening, and yeah, we'll see you next time. Cheers.